What's up, guys? My name is MrGreen, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Shirley MacLaine movie, Some Came Running. Now, I've been a big fan of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin since I was a wee lad. I have many stories to tell, but those stories are not going to be told right now. But I saw this movie, it was on HBO Max, and I was like, I need to get on this. This looks good. Shirley MacLaine's also in it. This is going to be good. So, I'm going to talk about the good, talk about the bad. I'm going to talk about the way it looks on HBO Max, whether you should buy it. I'm very excited for this. I don't have a shirt that really goes with it, so I picked something that has absolutely nothing to do with it. So, with it, I mean the movie. But yeah, let's get into it. Now, as you can clearly see, I was very, very excited for this movie because, well, why not? I mean, Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite films ever, but both of them. Robin and the Seven Hoods is boring, but it's got some good moments, I'm not gonna lie. But I was there, I was excited, and what did I get? It was kind of boring again, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of boring. I'm not going to lie. Now, before I start talking about why I found this film boring, I want to talk about what I liked about it. I like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. They're always very charismatic and just entertaining to watch. There were moments that, you could tell it hadn't aged best. This would not be made today, aside from the fact that they're dead, but also because of certain things they say. But you know what? It's the times. I'm just going to move past that and just be objective with what I see. Is it good objectively? Yes, they do very good jobs. They're not really like super dramatic actors. They're there to be themselves and deliver charismatic performances, and they do that very well. Shirley MacLaine is good. She's very good, as always. She was a standout. She was the one that was acting, like not just being themselves acting. They were playing a character well, acting, and it was very good. Hats off to that. The ending was sad. I'm not going to give away any spoilers in this video, but the ending, while in the moment, like it seems like you can kind of see it coming, but oi, right when I figured out what was happening, I was like, oh no, this is sad. I like the beginning of the film too, just like the way it starts and the way it ends are very strong in my opinion. But the middle is where it kind of falters, like it really just becomes kind of like a bit forgettable, kind of just goes on for too long. The movie's not even really that long, but it feels like it really just kind of drags out throughout the middle. There's just some love plots, there's this weird kind of whole thing with with Frank Sinatra's like niece and all that, but I think it's his niece. I can't be sure. Actually, I can't be sure. I just don't remember. But that was kind of odd. I won't lie. I do think Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra's, when their characters fall out towards the end, I felt that was a bit much. And then once it gets back to the ending, then it doesn't really matter. But I just didn't think that was very necessary. I feel like that was just a bit thrown in there just to have some conflict. But what I really just didn't like is that the middle portion was just kind of boring, partially because of Frank Sinatra's other love interest, but it just wasn't really engaging me. I was just kind of watching it. I was like checking the time a lot. It really just didn't have me very engaged, which it says a lot because I'm there. Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, I am there. I am a 60-year-old man when it comes to those things. I am not the 15-year-old that's like, oh, it's old, I don't care. I'm not a zoomer. I'm there for that stuff. But when it disappoints me, and then I feel very bad because, I'm that's what I watched the movie for, and then I get disappointed. But what can you do? That's the way it is. Yeah. Now, Some Came Running, it's a very mixed bag, but I do feel like the good portions, which is like Shirley MacLaine, just the charmingness of the two lead actors, the beginning, the end, the just plotline in general, I think it's enough to like warrant the film a watch, especially if you do are an admirer or a fan of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin's careers, or Shirley MacLaine's, and anyone else's. But just beware that you may find the middle portion of the film to drag a bit. It might be a bit boring for you. But you know what? I feel like I don't regret watching this. I'm very glad that I did watch this film. It's not a bad one, like, to be honest. It's just okay, which I feel like is worse because this is like my second disappointment watching a film with these two. The other one being Robin and the Seven Hoods, and that one took a while for me to set in that this was not a good movie. But that one was just like, all in all, I mean, 100% with myself. It's not a good movie. But this one, I feel like it's a good movie. I'm gonna give Some Came Running a B-. Just needed to fix up a few things, and then, maybe we could have something great. But, what can you do? What's done is done. So, time to talk about HBO Max. How did this film look? I think it looked good. I think it looked fine. I think that the colors were kind of like apparent. I like that there was a very solid grain structure, especially because of the release of this film. It's not a new one, so there's going to be a lot of grain because it was shot on film. And I think this one had a shaky camera. Relax. Just stay still. I need you to stay still, please. And thank you. Anyway, I digress. I think this film looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I think the colors were apparent. I think there was a very solid amount of grain on the film because it was shot with film back in the day in the 60s or 50s, I believe. Oh man, I'm doing one of those things again. It's the 60s. It came out in 1960. I bet that it came out in 1960. Was I right? Okay. Anyway, it didn't look, it could have looked a bit better. I mean, they could have done a bit better. It was streaming, so you're instantly just not going to get the best possible unless if it's only like HD transfer, which is a bit disappointing. But I think taking the film into an account and also taking the actual way of the film looked and sounded, because it sounded okay. Like, this was a very kind of mediocre one. Like, it did seem like it could have used a bit more like vibrance and saturation, but like it seemed a bit it did seem a bit desaturated, and the grain really didn't help out much. It just made it look a bit more colorless, but there was still like a fair amount of colors. Some of them did look a bit, like, as I said, washed out, desaturated, which is disappointing. The way it sounded was fine. There's not really much to commentate there. The audio track was serviceable and didn't really swell me into the film, but it didn't really pull me out of it. That was handled fairly well. But I do think that the way the film looked, the visuals, could have been handled a bit better. So, all in all, taking the film into account and taking the transfer into account, I believe you should buy Some Came Runnin' on Blu-ray. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share, subscribe, comment below. Have you seen it? What do you think about them? What do you think about the two leads? What do you think about Shirley MacLaine? Just in general, in life, what do you think about them? Comment below. What do you want me to review next? I will review it or not. It depends how I'm feeling. And please subscribe. I'm trying to get 50 very, very soon. And yeah, bye.